Welcome back, everybody. I hope everyone's doing well. Great to see you again. This is Kirk Erickson, your personality expert. Last time we delved into fire. This time we're going to delve into air. You're going to be blown away. Stay tuned. Names of our universe. Today we're going to delve right into the air possible. Let's jump up. Let's not come down. Let's fly. You know what? I love air. It's very versatile, from Gemini and its many faceted different faces when necessary, to Libra, keeping things in balance, but sometimes arguing to make sure things are even manipulating to get to that balance as they see it or want it. Sorry, Libra. Love a lot of Libras. Again, okay, generalizations. Just for fun, sort of. Okay, Aquarius. This is air. This is when I think of Prince of the Air. Of course, not all Aquarius are evil, but when we think of new and innovative things of AI, artificial intelligence, it takes us away from the core. The Aquarian age, on one hand, new age. On one hand, a new world order. Well, there's good and bad with that, of course. That's a whole nother subject. But Aquarius, this definitely epitomizes the intellectual, using your mind as the mad scientist or maybe as the progressive humanitarian. How does that relate, these three signs, to the Myers-Briggs? Let's get right into this. Dynamic, like the fire. Okay, we had ENTP, ENTJ, ESTP for the fire. We're going into air. Not much different in that sense. Okay? The epitome of air, even though Aquarius can be introverted, we're going to talk about the epitome of air is across the board for all of the air signs. Which ones do they fit? ENTP and ENFP. We got a feeler here. What's that? Well, that's the Libra. That's the proverbial feeling air sign. Well, Gemini can be air, Aquarius, thinker. So already we got a true thinker, we got a sometimes thinker, sometimes feeler, and we got a feeler. All right. That's why air is so interesting. Air is the ideal. Okay. Even though we think of air as a thinker, it can also be a feeler because it's the idealization. So let's move right in with ENFP, ENTP. Let's do the breakdown. Okay. So starting with ENFP. ENFP, this type is generally the most common intuitive type. Does that mean that ENFPs are common? No, all of us are very unique. And I know some very strange ENFPs. This is a very zany, zesty, big personality. I'm just talking about the numbers, okay? ENFP, this is your California dreaming. This is loving life. This is embracing it. This is compassion, open-minded. What's the next new thing? Let's try it. Let's do it. Let's not miss out on anything. Okay, this is ENFP. So let's start with a type 1. Not very common. I got about 450 ENFPs. One of my most common types, as I mentioned before, I'm a E and an INFP, depending, but I tend towards introversion, but I can display both. I'm going to be drawn to those people. Those people are going to be drawn to me. Another thing, they're drawn to these tests, so they don't say no. That's why I have such a high percentage. About 15% of my takers are ENFP. So, and then we're in California, of course. So type 1, I only have 3 of them out of 450. That's an anomaly. Okay, those are the only perceiving type 1s I have. By and large, they're judging, structure, organized. That's type 1. Like I said, Virgo a while back. Okay, ENFP 1 though, it's only going to fit one type, and that is going to be the Libra. Libra keeping things in balance. Libra wants the ideal, a certain amount of structure. That will fit Libra. Not going to fit Gemini. Not going to fit Aquarius because Aquarius are thinker. Okay, let's move on to type 2. Type 2 is a more common type. About 20 to 25% of ENFPs tend to be type 2. This type is going to be, well, it's not going to be Gemini and it's not going to be Aquarius, but again, Libra. Libra fits for a lot of them. In fact, as you will see, there's not going to be any Aquarius ENFP. ENTP is where we're going to see a lot of the Aquarius. Type 3. You know, ENFPs are pretty versatile as far as what Enneagram types they can be. 75% of them tend to be either 2, 4, or 7, but they can be kind of a little bit across the board with the others, except type 5. No type 5s for the extroverted, intuitive feeling, perceiving type. But type 3, about 5%. So what's that going to fit? Well, it's going to fit Gemini. Because Gemini, this type, they say at times is a great salesperson. They're loquacious, they're talkative. They kind of know how to schmooze if necessary. They could wear the different masks, have the different faces. This very much fits the type 3. Not so much the Libra, not so much the Aquarius. Again, let's just cut it out there. Aquarius is not going to be ENFP. ENFP 4. ENFP 4 can fit one thing. Well, mostly one thing. It can fit Gemini. Gemini, again, words, okay? This is, hey, let's get this out in print. Okay, this is the writer. What's a type 4? It's an expressive type. It could be a poet, okay? Well, very bohemian as well. So this type could be kind of the bard, the voice, the singing, the words, the poetry. I am in love with the mind. This is what Gemini is. I am in love with love, the idea of love. Not always more the mundane aspects of day in and day out, but the excitement of love. Let's talk about love. Let's be in love. But do we have to actually really be going through the motions of what love takes and exists? I'm not putting down all Gemini. I'm talking about, again, a generality. You know what, people? Think of arrows. Arrows, what did arrows do? If we know, that's not just the Cupid, shooting people. What? Arrows is kind of a trickster, okay? He is shooting the arrow at your heart and getting a laugh out of it because he's seeing you act like a dithering fool, okay? That's Eros. And it could be a bit of the ENFP, especially in 7, somewhat in 4 as well. We're talking about ENFP 4. This is the bardic, expressive, comedic type, but they got to be true to themselves. Well, Gemini does fit for the ENFP 4 because of that words, because of that self-expression. And it can fit Libra because Libra is all about art and beauty and form. That's very much the 4. That's very much, it needs to be just so. It needs to be debonair. I need to have that right feeling that I'm expressing to you. And type 5, again, doesn't fit. Type 6, this one actually, you know what, folks? Type 6 is a dead ringer for Gemini. Gemini can be changeable, okay? Gemini can worry a lot. They could be nervous. That's that nervous, fidgety energy. We're thinking of Carrie in Sex and the City. Carrie is, what do I do? I have this idea. I have great ideas, but I'm going to talk to all my friends, okay? We all know people like this. They're great fun, but they can be a little bit of an issue in relationships if you want to have a relationship with that one person and not all of their friends. And then ultimately, she doesn't know what she wants, and she doesn't know if she can trust you or not because her friend said this or that. We all know this situation. Quick note about type 6. Fun note, 20 to 25% of females tend to be type 6. That's great in many ways. That's loyalty, okay? That's consistency, but it's also worrying, and it's also putting people through a series of litmus tests or playing games, or he's just not that into you. I need to read the book. I need to know the rules. What's the right thing to do? Hey, lady, have a relationship with me, just you and me here, okay? This is the epitome of an ENFP 6 when they're probably a little less healthy. Just to get a point across, you know what I mean. Basically, though, it's a very common type, the type 6, for better or worse. It's also a very, I know beautiful, great people that are type 6 and loyal and consistent and traditional, all those things. I know other ones that are a little bit neurotic, we could say. Men too, though, 15 to 20% of men tend to be type 6. Now, if we're being frank, that's on average 11% per type. If there's 9 types, it's about 11%. So 15 to 20% and 20 to 25%, that's a big number. Basically, 1 in 5 people are type 6. Okay, this is the fear type. Or very easy for a type 6 to start worrying and want to feel safe, okay? We're getting a little bit off track, but the idea, I need to put that in there about type 6. It's a very pertinent thing. But ENFP type 6, very much Gemini. Very much you don't know where they're going to come up with next. They're coming or going. What's happening here? But great ideas, too. Very humanitarian, compassionate, open-minded, but it's kind of that worry too. So it's a mixed bag there. ENFP 7. 33% of ENFPs are type 7. This is the epitome of type 7. Type 7 is the epitome of ENFP. This, folks, definitely fits Gemini. This is a dead ringer along with ENTP. I would say that ENTP 7 and ENTP and 6, so ENFP and ENFP 6 and 7, both encompass all the air signs, because as you'll see with ENTP 6, this can be Aquarius, and as you can see with ENTP 6, it can also be Gemini, and the ENFP's 6 can be Libra. I didn't mention that. I'm glad I have to go back to that. It does fit Gemini. It also fits Libra, the ENFP 6. Why? Well, with an ENFP and a type 6 and relationships, it's the focus, okay? But what's going on here is with a Libra, there's also a lot of second guessing, okay? There's a lot of difficulty with decision. You know, which side of that balance, it's back and forth, but it's also interactive with you. It wants to know we're on the same page in that one-on-one relationship, okay? So it very much fits a Libra as well. ENFP 7, this is Gemini, not the other two types of Aquarius, or it's not Aquarius or Gemini, Libra, this is Gemini. ENFP 8, actually ENFP 8, it's not really going to fit any of the air signs on this. If anything, it might fit a bit of the Aquarius because of that strong personality, but Aquarius again are thinkers. ENFP 8 is only about maybe 7% of ENFP, so it's an off type anyway. ENFP 9, total Libra. 9, we think of calm, cool, and collected. Libra, we think about keeping things in balance. It's a perfect match. This is a perfect harmony for the both of them. So ENFP, by and large, will fit Gemini and sometimes Libra, depending on what Enneagram type. Moving on to ENTP, don't have any ENTP 1s, don't have any 2s, don't have any 4s, don't have any 5s, don't have any 9s. It's, as I mentioned before the fire, it's 3, 6, 7, 8, but it can also fit air. Again, fire and air can fit a lot of different types, even some of the same types for different reasons. But let's move right into type 3 ENTP. This epitomizes Gemini for the same reason that ENFP does. This type really knows how to use their words. They really know how to possibly sell you your mother. It's the better mousetrap. Hey, you know what? I got something to share with you. Come on over here. Look at this jalopy. No, I mean, not jalopy. This is a freaking Corvette. This is your dream car. And they'll tell you why. You'll believe it. They'll be excited, a lot more excited than I am. They will sell this thing to you and you'll regret it later. No, honestly, this is not fair to say, but to put the point across, you get the idea. A Gemini ENTP, they could, if they're not, on the healthier alignment, it could sort of be like a, how should I say, talking out both sides of their faces, or whatever the saying is. Anyway, Gemini also can fit Aquarius. Aquarius essentially is all about progress. It's moving forward. It's the social ideal of community, all right? But it's also the cool guy that he's new at school. People don't know who this guy is, but he's a little bit mysterious, but he seems a little too cool for school, if you know what I mean. It's like, where's this guy coming from? And they want to get to know him a little better. This is the Joe Cool that doesn't need to explain himself because he's just Bob Bitch and Joe Cool. Okay, again, I'm making a point, exaggerating to get the idea across. ENTP 3, Gemini, Aquarius, these things. Again, you're not going to see the thinkers for, as far as the ENTP goes, for the Libra. So we're just talking about Gemini and Aquarius here. Type 6, dead ringer for both Gemini and Aquarius. ENFP 6, the Libra, ENTP 6, Gemini and Aquarius. So I would say that ENTP and ENFP 6s are the epitome of the air signs. Okay, so ENTP 6, this type, just like I said with the Gemini, you essentially have somebody that is conflicted at times. It's going back and forth with things. But with the thinking aspect rather than the feeler, it's going to be a bit more independent generally in their thinking. It's going to be a little less reliant, like Carrie in Sex and the City, on all her friends. And it's going to be a bit more driven to find out answers for themselves and a bit more skeptical and expressing that skepticism. That's the ENTP. They would express it without caring if you're hurt by their skepticism or not. This is definitely can be Gemini, but more so Aquarius, I would say on that. ENTP 7. This is the epitome of Gemini. This, if I had to say anything is Gemini, it'd be ENTP 7 and then ENFP 7. This is Peter Pan. Peter Pan dreaming the impossible dream, never growing up. No one's going to hold him down. He's going to fling it in your face. He's going to say, F off. You're not holding me back. This world is my oyster. It's a smorgasbord. No one's going to stop me, and I'm one-upping the game, and I'm having fun while doing it. So I'm going to tweak the beard of authority and enjoy that. Okay? This is ENTP 7. This is build a better mousetrap. This is, let's talk about one that comes to mind, Tom Sawyer. He got everybody else to paint that fence. And he basically had a great idea, and he got everyone else to do that work. And he got paid for it, I believe, or something along those lines. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Something along those lines, though, with that story. He basically, great salesman. ENTP is the proverbial entrepreneur. Okay, this type has ideas in spades. They say that ENTPs, there are more ENTPs out of the 16 types that have their own patent. That's an innovator, people. This person is bursting with ideas constantly. Okay, ENFP and ENTP both tend to start more projects than they finish, especially if they're type 7. 35% or so, at least like 33% or so of ENTPs tend to be type 7. Back it up, type 3, about 20% of them, more or less, tend to be type 3. Type 6, about 15 to 20%. Type 7, dead ringer. Type 8, quite a few as well, about at least 25% of them to be type 8. The only thing that's going to really be type 8, not Gemini, that's not Gemini energy, that's going to be your Aquarius energy, okay? This is ruled by Uranus. This is the type that when somebody says the buck stops here, they say, really? I am completely anti-authoritarian because I do things my way. And that's ENTP 8. ENTP 8 says, I don't know what you're thinking. I'm not only outside of the box, I'm crushing the box you're in if you don't wake up. Time to wake up. Time to see what's happening. They're not going to pull punches. They're going to just say it. You know exactly where you stand. This can be an Aquarius. Not the other two so much. When you think of Gemini energy, you're thinking of light, energetic, don't keep me down, flitting from here and there like a fairy sprite. Peter Pan. And the Pixie as well. Tinkerbell. Totally ENTP 7, both of them. The 8 energy, that's going to be definitely more Aquarius. So with Aquarius, you have the cool, you have the authority, you have the intellectual, but you also have the madman or the revolutionary or the madcap, the Mad Hatter, if you will. There's a lot that goes into that. When we talk about air signs, people, this is really a diverse thing. Air is so interesting to me because we talk about the Prince of the Air, we talk about the media, we talk about spinning things in a way we like to spin them, whether we're just a normal human being manipulating to get what we want, or if we have a really vested interest in keeping people's minds a certain way. I don't want to go off topic too much, but this is what the Prince of the Air is. It's essentially knowing who to schmooze, how to do it. This is the proverbial air. I wouldn't say so much Libra, not that they're completely innocent. I think of Libra, even though it's considered a masculine sign, it's the sign of togetherness. It's very feminine because it's an extroverted kind of sign, extroverted feeler. So we all know that feminine energy, whether you're man or woman, can really be manipulative to get its own way. It could pretend to be the saint. I only care about you. All the while they are doing whatever to conspire or connive to get what they need. But essentially, we're talking about Gemini when I talk about the Prince of the Air because that's words, that's print. I'm talking about Aquarius because that's the new, wait, I got a better idea. Come with me, Pied Piper. I'm the Pied Piper. You're going to follow me into this new thing. Off the cliff, sheep. Okay, that's the negative aspect, of course, but you get the idea. Air is so versatile. It's a lovely thing to live through the mind. It's a lovely thing to live through the ideals, and depending on your alignment, depending on your values, that's where we have the kernel of truth as far as where that air is coming from. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me for the air signs. I hope that that was interesting. Next week, we have something extremely interesting because we're going to go through briefly the 12 astrological signs and which Myers-Briggs totally epitomizes each one of the signs. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Make sure you subscribe and like. I appreciate all of you. Take care.